is just fantastic.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be responding to a video titled "This whole vlog is about food full stop." Obviously downvoted to high hell, ignoring my comment. Limiting yourself to takeout one time a day is actually insane. Which is true. Once a week perhaps would be quite a limiter, but once a day tells me you've gotten far too comfortable having it more than once a day. So basically your life for the past 5 to 10 years. Wider than the refrigerator is crazy. Usually if you have BPD, you go to therapy to get help, not just to use it as a crutch for your crappy actions. Amber, and the fact that your titles and thumbnails lately can be considered both rage bait for your audience and an attempt to get your girlfriend's attention should concern you. It does look like an ad, because to an extent she has done what I said she would do, rotate the thumbnail so that she's eating and then not eating, eating then not eating, eating then not eating, to now in front of a fridge. She's bridging the gap. I'm going to count it, because if there was anything in that fridge, she's already had it.
Hello, welcome to a new Vlogmas video. How are you guys? So I'm actually currently waiting for the maintenance because today is like the quarterly check-in time where they do like pest control, they change the filters, they check the, what's it called? Fire alarm. So just currently waiting for that. And I have the most random thoughts throughout the day, I'm not gonna lie. And one of them I'm randomly thinking about is like how us as humans, we retain and like keep so much information in our brains.
Look at you doing some think. That's cute. The human brain capacity for the average adult human is 2.5 million gigabytes or 2.5 petabytes. This is 10 times more than what we thought, but exact storage is slightly tricky to calculate because it's hard to measure the size of a memory, and different memories take up different amounts of space. I firmly believe in something called attic theory. It's why I forget everyone's names, because I think they're completely redundant. I'm joking, of course, it's just the attic theory part I do agree with. What you choose to remember is interesting as well, because it tells us a lot more about your personality and your behaviour. It's harder to reprogram an adult brain when they are unwilling to change. So you can be impressed at the level a human can store, but in reality, everyone else is more impressed that you're thinking that and not what your next Uber Eats order is.
Like, about everything. How do we do it? Like, the brain is powerful, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my memory is so bad and it's always been horrendous.
If we had enough time, I could certainly go through the very basics about how a brain functions, but to be honest, it's not worth it in the context of you trying to seem a bit more educated or informed, or philosophical, perhaps, right? There are such things as brain training, and yes, I'm giving you some advice. Even little video games that exist solely for brain training. I would highly recommend a crossword. That would help you. Word searches, Sudoku. Very simple tasks, but they are good at helping you remember for longer. That said, we all know really where your memory is strongest, and it usually centers around whichever number you pick on speed dial to have that order. Yes, I'm sure you'll get one today.
But as you guys know, I suffer with BPD.
Amber, you suffer with many things. Can you perhaps just reduce it down to one title for all of it? Simply call it Grandfather Nurgle's Blessing. Although in the case of your claims of BPD, I could in fact believe Zeech had something to do with that.
And for the longest, I didn't know why like my memory was so bad. I always thought it was like due to childhood trauma. I've talked about it before. I've literally told you guys that like my memory is like Swiss cheese. The cheese is the memories. The holes is like the missing memories, because I'm telling you, my memory is just bad, like about everything.
This part is clearly bait, okay? Your memory isn't like Swiss cheese. It is specific and localized in specialty to what Amber likes to think or talk about. So when it comes to things you are, let's say, taking for granted, like a cat, you will undoubtedly forget that name in a heartbeat.
Having BPD actually causes really bad memory issues, so it's like when I was diagnosed, it's like, oh, that makes sense then.
Because I'm feeling festive and I want to help Amber improve her memory, I'm going to give you 7 tips. Ready? 1. Be physically active every day, because it raises the blood flow to the entire body. This includes your brain. So, it is recommended to do at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity a week, or 75 of vigorous aerobic activity like jogging. Not that squeaking crap you did when you were in Wisconsin. 2. Stay mentally active. I mentioned brain training. Do it. 3. Spend time with others because it helps to ward off stress and depression. 4. Be organised. 5. Sleep well. 6. Eat a healthy diet because healthy food is good for your brain. Low-fat protein sources, fish, beans, skinless poultry. Yeah, drinks also count. Too much alcohol can lead to confusion. 7. Manage chronic health problems, because some medicines affect your memory. You're welcome. That came from the Mayo Clinic, by the way. I'll link it down below if you're interested. In the context of Amberlynn, even if she was told all this by a medical professional, she would ignore it because Amber knows best, but also because the majority of that requires an amount of effort she is unwilling to commit to help herself save herself, live longer, healthier, happier. Longer would be preferable, to be given the chance to be happier, but Amber knows that that doesn't bring in the views. Not that what she's currently doing is doing much of it either.
My memory is bad when it comes to like super traumatic things or like serious things. Like I'll randomly remember something that happened in my childhood and I'll be like, oh my god, how did I block that out for so long?
You know how you do that recap thing and you allude to stuff but never fill us in? Yeah, that. This applies here on purpose because you're very much a chameleon type. If someone else says something has happened in their life that's bad, you have to one-up them by saying something happened in yours, and you'll start to make stuff up. I'm not going to refute that you've had a traumatic childhood, or you've determined it to be traumatic. Be clear here, I was raised in the 90s. Anyone 90s and before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. No one had it easy, I promise you that. But Amber likes to be one-up. Some of us don't need to talk about it, we just crack on.
Actually, as recent as I tried eggnog, and in the vlog I was like, oh, I've never tried eggnog before. But then back when I lived in Virginia like a decade ago, there's a literal clip of me trying eggnog. So it's like memory things like that where it's like people think I'm lying, but I'm actually just like struggling with symptoms of having borderline personality disorder. I don't know, it sucks.
Oh, shut up, you muppet. You are the epitome of a plonker dribbling on a windowsill. Everyone knew you'd had eggnog and were reminding you of it. I remembered it. I didn't put it in my video because I didn't see the point. You're a known, renowned liar. That's what you've always been, Amber. You think you're unique and quirky, but it turns out you're a stereotype at this point of, a damning statement of American education and obesity problems. You're fast becoming the avatar of it. Stop trying to find a way to deflect from your inability to tell the truth, and then latch it on with that deflection to BPD, and then assign it to one of the symptoms. You are a weak tea bish. You should be ashamed of yourself for this misuse of mental health, just so you can skirt your own inability to be factually accurate.
Do y'all remember how yesterday I became a TikTok sensation? Okay, literally joking.
I remember how you did 6 days ago, with one video. Yes, I vaguely recall this, in fact. It tickled me to no end that Amberlynn Reid finally hit the money with one TikTok video on a TikTok account called Rarity with an extra Y cat. 6.2 million views is not something, of course, to turn your nose up at. But I should point out, you did follow it up with some more Thirstlyn Reid content that did nowhere near as well. And you are hug-boxed like there's no tomorrow on that. No wonder you feel so energized and invigorated when you're posting thirst trap crap over there. And random off-the-cuff clips that barely made it into a YouTube video, citing your comedic timing and genius for something that was a complete fluke. But okay.
But if you guys don't know, my TikTok went viral. I was literally just being myself and being funny and quirky. And I got over 3 million views under 24 hours, like insane. I woke up today and it's at 4 million. And also Hidden Valley Ranch commented on it. So then like I replied to the comment, but like the comment's gone. My comment's gone. I don't know if they were able to delete it. I don't know what happened, but my comment disappeared. I thought my reply back was pretty funny.
Yeah, I felt the same way when my comment that I thought was quite funny got removed as well. Violating community guidelines for telling you that you need to go find your cat and that you're also overweight.
Okay guys, so I am currently in the middle of cleaning my fridge because I'm gonna be grocery shopping today. So I'm just spraying some of this Clorox. I took everything out that's like old and I didn't want to make too much trash, so I do have this trash pile. This stuff is expired. I put random stuff in here that's also expired that I'm going to be throwing away. I literally pretty much have nothing.
Well, this would certainly go so far as to explain why in the only videos you've done back, you've ordered takeout every time. while you're exclusively ordering takeout. I would not be surprised if there was a bonus bag with bonus sandwiches inside, because you are that type, and there's no way with what you present you are eating enough to maintain your weight, and you're certainly not coming down yet. You, Amberlynn Reid, are getting into the festive spirit and want to be as wide as the Oklahoma City Christmas tree itself.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, the only reason why I even care about grocery shopping right now is so I can get some more fur baby food.
So, not to look after yourself? I mean, I can believe you don't look after your pets because you lost one, but I can't believe you wouldn't consider buying, proper food to cook proper food so you would actually eat proper meals and not takeout. That's incredibly high in sodium and virtually everything is bad for you. I've already proven that so far in previous videos this month.
Wow, that is an empty fridge. Let me show you guys. Literally, this is my fridge. I'm keeping that. I'm keeping A1 sauce, low sodium soy sauce, Tapatio, and then all of this is trash.
In case it wasn't obvious enough, that is 100% the bait part of this video. I'm sure many went and looked up Premier Protein just to see how long it would last in the fridge. Don't bother, not worth it. All you need to take away from this is Amber didn't drink 6 of them.
Nice bread and butter and steak for dinner.
My mom's talking about her dinner while putting her groceries in the trunk. And I wanted to show you guys her outfit. She just looks so cute and cozy. You do. So my mom had to go grocery shopping today, so that's why a couple days ago she was like, do you want to go grocery shopping with me? So it worked out perfect.
I'm still baffled why we don't get some kind of vlog around the supermarket itself, because back in the day you take a mobility scooter around them, around Walmart and Target and U-Haul. You do that on purpose, and that's fine. But you go out and you do things, but you're not showing us you doing anything. The nearest we got to see you do something in this video is you wiping the inside of your fridge that you'd already claimed to have cleaned anyway when you first got back. I guess that germaphobe Lynn Reid, who doesn't want Nurgle's blessing but does at the same time, is really coming to the front and just OCDing the heck out of it. Lynn Reid.
But let's do a grocery haul. I got Sprite Zero, my newfound favorite. It is Coca-Cola Zero, but cherry. Bounty paper towels, the literal best. Cat food, dog food, some Clorox all-purpose spray. I'm just gonna throw the bags back there.
I'm noticing a lack of food here, Amber. Unless you intend to drink the Clorox, but that's a meme that's been dead for a long time. Much like Tide Pods.
So, I've been ordering takeout a lot lately. 2 times a day. Maybe even 3 if I'm hungry.
Somebody's looking far too smug here. Far too smug, far too chirpy, far too happy, and go figure. The happiness really comes to the forefront when one is speaking on the subject of food. If only you possessed the same energy for calling Uber Eats or Deliveroo, for when you had to go look for your cat when you didn't, because you had to wait for Tommy because you didn't want to leave the place without her, to go find your cat that still hasn't been found. I'm also impressed and not surprised. I'm impressed because that's a lot of takeaway and money to waste, but then you did buy a $61 journal planner. I'm also not surprised because your girlfriend's a sodding feeder. Of course you want to plump up.
So I know, like, in my rational brain, I'm not just gonna completely stop ordering takeout. I'm just not.
You really should. You really should go cold turkey at this point. Because there is no version of this right now where you could wean yourself off because you lack the commitment, you lack the support network, you lack everything you need to actually improve your life. The only way you're ever going to make any change at this point now is to simply stop. Years ago, I quit fizzy drinks in their entirety. In 2017, mid-October. I remember this because I was then just diagnosed with depression. I quit crisps, and I've never looked back. I don't touch them. I went cold. I didn't like it, but I had no choice. Was it 2018? It doesn't matter. I quit, and it was the right move for me. Sometimes we have to make those difficult decisions and do what is right for us. Not what we think is right for us by trying to slowly or gradually wean ourselves away. Because as we've seen from you, the moment you slip once, it's a full commitment to go backwards. You need to stop and hold yourself accountable every single day. A novelty to you that you could never do. Because the only commitment you have is being with your true love. You're more committed to getting back to Tommy than you are finding your cat or putting your health first.
So what I want to do instead is, like, Amberlynn, order it 1 time a day if you want to. for the rest of the foods that you eat, cook it at home, make it healthy.
Well, something about that felt less than sincere and energetic when you spoke about doing it at home. I assume when you do it one time at home, it's going to be like, oh mad, one takeaway big meal a day. It's going to be a monster of a meal, and you're going to make sure you get your money's worth out of it. No doubt that TikTok coin that's going to start flooding in from that one viral video is going to make you a very happy dainty queen.
So that's currently what I'm going to try to do. So I got some Brussels sprouts, some cauliflower, some broccoli. I got some pickles that I like to snack on. These are like the perfect size with the perfect crunch. I got 2 bags of hard-boiled eggs.
I'm sure many people have pointed this criticism out in the past, ignoring the sprouts because clearly she needs to poop. The egg thing is a strange one. For somebody who's at home a lot, why don't you just boil the eggs yourself? It's an activity, you can do it, so why not? Why, you know what, actually, we're in an age of convenience. I guess it makes sense. It suddenly explains a lot. And Amber, I know you're allergic to your eggs, but it's okay. I'm not going to resort to the level of the haters. I'm not going to do that. Although I will admit, I really want to play that Nicocado clip. Amber proceeds, and I've sped this up a little bit to show us everything she has bought from her food shopping haul. If you slow it down and you pause on individual food items, you realise some of it can be healthy, some of it is incredibly not. Yes. But because again Amber's a recap channel and not a vlogger, she finishes with the following remark before going to something else.
Alright, now I gotta put everything away.
As you can see, that is one high energy bish.
You guys, I'm telling you, this rotisserie chicken, best thing ever ate. Give me 14 of them. But I wanted some olives with garlic. Oh my god.
A small part of me thinks she's intentionally using this as an advertisement for her credentials as Thirsty Lynn, the beta for the feeders, because a lot of her actions are minimal, but she's showing off how wholesome she can be. It feels like an ad. I assume this one, though, for her dating profile goes on Craigslist.
Hold on a second. I'm having anxiety. Folks. So I have a lot of random food anxieties. We're just gonna call them that. I do not talk about this on my YouTube, but the people I know in my real life, I think they get annoyed by it, which is fine.
This part, I have a sneaky feeling, is going to tie into one of those comments earlier about her having a weird thing about the olive, yet being completely fine ordering it through Uber Eats. Also, I know it's seen as a bit of a quirky camera angle to have it in the fridge. It's not. It's kind of crap, actually. I know you're too lazy to use a camera and a tripod, but considering all the money you've blown over the years, and the low-grade quality recap shite you produce, you really could upgrade everything. Maybe even use it as an excuse to be a better creator, because recapping is one of the laziest contents around.
Let me explain to you what just happened. I opened this, and I realized I didn't hear like that little pop noise that it should have made. So when you first open something that has a lid like this, it'll usually pop. Like, let's try the pickles. See, did you hear that like noise? Well, the olives did not do that. And some olives with garlic. Oh my god. And it's like I didn't process it until the olive was already in my mouth. So immediately my brain said that these olives have been opened and they have been poisoned.
Okay, I'm done. You think you've been poisoned. You literally order takeout every day. Multiple times a day. And you're a bit iffy about a jar? Really? What kind of poison is someone going to put in that? Into a jar? You're being irrational, but you're going to cite your mental health as a reason for that irrationality. No, you're just Amberlynn being Amberlynn. You're tragic. And this kind of mentality is embarrassing. By the way, the jar's still in your fridge. So clearly you didn't think it was poisoned, because you didn't think to remove it, maybe call the CDC, call the police. I've been poisoned, oh my god. Please. If anyone's going to poison you, I promise you it's not going to be through a jar of crappy olives. And you poison yourself enough through your intolerance for certain foods. And for somebody who has a bit of a sensitive side towards many different meats, it's impressive how much you bought. Although, based on how you eat it, you've got to fossilize it all first. One last thing before we continue. You need to give your audience an update on Rarity. You say you're not going to talk about the cat anymore. You said that before you left Wisconsin. You need to, because you still have done nothing, said nothing. And quite frankly, the only life on your channel anyone cares about right now is the one that you lost. Because much like your life, which you care so little about, You give off no impression you've ever cared about any other life in yours.
Very moist, miss. Ew.
Meggy moist, miss.